Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Vechain. Once again, thank you for your continued support. I really do appreciate everything you do to contribute towards the growth of CoinsKid here. Sharing is caring. Honestly, thank you for all your really nice comments. I get so many really nice warm comments on all of the videos, not just on Vechain. So it's really big thank you to you taking your time out to comment and watch the video, obviously, and sharing that you do. So hope you had a really good weekend, and hopefully let's get the party started for Vechain and break these levels of resistance and start marching on for Vechain, because everything else is, isn't it? You look to the left, you look to the right, everything's going up with Vechain, sort of going up in its head, come back down, going up in its head, but it's making steady progress, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't get that deep correction that is on the cards, basically, until we break this high. So effectively it is all based on Bitcoin, so to speak. So full transparency, Bitcoin keeps attacking that 60k out. How much longer can it actually go for that before it starts to break down? And if it does start to reject and sort of comes down a little bit more, then I would anticipate that you would see a bit of a correction, and potentially obviously with Vechain as well, and come back down to at least hopefully adhere to this level of support right now in this sort of bull pennant that we've got going on in the weekly time frame for Vechain. So it's all good, basically. It's all golden. I mean, look at the EMAs, it's slowly getting up there, isn't it? Look at that 20, and if we can get a little touch off that would be superb. Okay, that would be absolutely superb, because it's a confirmation statement, basically, and it starts to make these look a bit more healthier, because at the moment you can see they were looking vertical, and now it's starting to get a little bit of a roll on it, so that's good. So you could potentially, just off the bat, I've not got a crystal ball, but you may be looking at least 1 more to 2 more weeks of consolidation right here, where Vechain sort of goes up, hits its head, rolls back, hits its ass, hits its head, hits its ass, and it doesn't know its knee from its elbow, and basically just allows it time to sort of repopulate, and get some of these levels sort of sorted out as well, because the RSI is still sort of outside the purple box right there. I mean, it's not terribly high, but you could potentially see a little bit of a roll on it, just like it did here, where it got the momentum to sort of come back up. So that's basically Vechain on the weekly. The MACD is a little bit high, but they need to come back down to earth a little bit. Potentially get a little bit of a curl on and go and come together a little bit more as well, just like the EMAs just there. It's a big indicator, basically, for overextension. And like I said to you, you don't buy big green candles because you get big red dildos, and this is a primary example of it, because if you'd have bought this big green candle at the top here, like most of you I would imagine you did, the very next week you've got that big red dildo. So it's not nice, and people, they're watching their investment depreciate like that, and potentially, they're thinking it's going to crash and completely go down to zero, and they've jumped ship, basically. And that's why I say to you, you just have patience in these things, because look, Cardano's one of those things. 10 weeks it did, where it did something very similar to this, where it went up, big rocket ship, big red candle the next day, and then just consolidated for 10 weeks before actually breaking its high and making progress. So, I hope that Vechain doesn't go through the same sort of process of 10 weeks, because that would be quite relatively flat and boring, and then I would imagine people get frustrated, because this is the thing. You look to the left, you look to the right, and things are shooting up, aren't they? Ethereum shooting up, and Matic and all sorts of things, Firo and all those sort of projects are shooting up, but you're sat here in Vechain going like this, looking at your portfolio, and it's going sideways, and it's actually like going down a bit and then coming up a bit, and it's frustrating. And that's basically consolidation. It shakes out the weak hands. Okay, so not financial advice, but do have patience in these particular projects, and people that sat in Cardano for so long, they're receiving the fruits of the labour, so to speak. So yeah, right now, we've got this price prediction up here in the future. God knows when it's going to come. If we break out here, yay, you're looking at that, 40-cent Vechain. So from here right now, if it was to break out, if it was to continue and break that level of resistance, you're looking at a whopping 84%, 85% trade there for Vechain. But so far, it looks, this is a very indecisive candle at the moment on the weekly. See where the body, it doesn't know what it wants to do, whether it wants to go up or go down, and that's very, very, basically a big signal of consolidation, effectively a sideways action, so to speak, in Vechain right there. So it is consolidating, it is healthy what it's doing, and I want to reassure you, that we do have these price predictions up here, and this greater appreciation for Vechain in the future. And hopefully, this wave 4, as I've spoken to you so many times about, is actually the same as wave 1, but in most instances, as I reminded you of, it can actually be as big as wave 3. So perhaps if we get this longer level of consolidation and we allow these EMAs to creep up a little bit longer and just be a bit more patient. And then if you look at the RSI as well, perhaps if we can sort of get this RSI to sort of come down a little bit more, I don't know, something like this, because this is the exact level where you got that wave 3. Do you see that? When you got that wave 3, you allowed that extension of being overbought. So imagine if you've got that again, went up there towards the end of the bull run, you would be looking at that whopping $4 third wave sort of extension, fifth wave extension, the same as wave 3, taking up towards that sort of $4, and that would be absolutely amazing there for Vechain. So yeah, that's basically Vechain. I'm just going to jump into the 4 hourly time frame right now for you then. So looking at the 4 hourly time frame then, yesterday we did lose the EMAs, and I did say to you, if you do start to see it break down, put some cheeky bids on down on this particular level here. Look where it landed. Boom. On the 050. So that was a fantastic area to just put a couple of bids in, just sit in a bit of a long, basically long it. If you don't know what that is, then I need to make a tutorial basically. I will do it, but as you can imagine, I'm so busy. So you can just basically put a bid in, a limit order, and just put a little limit order in, and that's 050, because this is what happens. This is why the Fibonacci retracement tool is so good. Do learn how to use it, because you can see resistance, support, resistance, and when things do break down, especially in the start to lose the EMAs, if it start to fall in the 55 or any EMA, then you don't know where you're going. You're falling, aren't you? So the fibs give you a fantastic sort of guidance as to where the key levels of support are. And the 050 on this retracement right here, you could see was at this particular level right here, not wicked right down to it. Do you see that? I'll move this out of the way so you can see that. So look, it wicked right down to it basically. So it's golden, and that's good, because it shows that you got that support down there off that particular level of support down there on the Fibonacci retracement. So like I said yesterday, you are looking relatively healthy for continuation for Vechain. You're going up in these beautiful sort of waveforms, okay, like this. And if you can continue to do this, what you're going to do, you're going to be up there, aren't you? You're going to attack it. You're forming the higher lows, you're forming the higher highs, you've got the double bottom here, you've got a trend reversal, you're looking relatively healthy. So if you can now continue to adhere to these EMAs, because look, you're above the EMAs. When you fall them down, you all find a level of support, just like here you find this level of support. So if you continue to do this, you're going to be up there, and you're going to tackle these levels of resistance, and hopefully push you out of this level of resistance that it finds itself in. Because if it doesn't, then obviously you're fully aware that you're going to roll, okay? And always make you aware that you are going to roll, because look at the extension here in this 4 hourly EMA. This is a prime example of when it's too overextended, and what it did, it rolled, okay? And then as it comes down, it loses a level of support because you was too overextended, you fell through them, so you relied on the Fibonacci there, this base level of support, which you found loads of support there, like support there, and boom, support again. So that's good. It's confidence to the fact that you are adhering to a key level of support, you're moving onwards and upwards. So for Vechain then, just keep an eye on it basically. If you can continue now to hold the 4 hourly EMAs as support, it's going to creep you up, and you are going to attack these levels. So right now then, if you do start to see Vechain get back above the 4 hourly 20, okay, if it does start to get back above that, because you can see right now it's had a go and it's been wicked down, so basically the selling pressure's come back in, it's under a level of resistance, okay? Because what happens when you're between these EMAs, you go sideways. When you're above them, you go up, and when you're below them, you go down basically, and that's the truth of it. So if you stay sideways, you're going to go like this, get a bit choppy and a bit rubbish, but you're building up a bit of momentum to actually get back above these EMAs like this, and then march onwards and upwards. So if you do start to see Vechain get back above the 20, okay, on the 4 hourly time frame, you start seeing the closes above, just like you did here, like that, then I would anticipate that you're at least going to come up to that level right there. So at the point in which you see that and the confirmation, put a little long in, because you're definitely looking at a 10% upside for Vechain. And then the same as the opposite. If you start to come down and you're hitting your head, then do anticipate that you could actually lose this key level of support right there and potentially come back down to test the 0382, which is around about 19 cents for Vechain. Yeah, so I would imagine if you start to lose the 55, the red line is the 55 EMA on the 4 hourly time frame. If you do start to lose that for Vechain, I would expect that you could see a further sort of dip at least down to the 0382, because you've already tested the 05, okay, and you can see how overextended the EMAs are. I'm not saying it's going to collapse, but I'm just saying these are the things you can do in consolidation whilst it's doing this and making its mind up, okay? So if you do start to see the close below the 55 and it's hitting its head, then do anticipate that you could potentially put a little short down there of around 8% tech profit, okay, and you will see it bounce off that. And that's basically Vechain. But in a nutshell, looking relatively healthy. You can see, you are sort of adhering to these high highs, high lows. If you continue to to do that, then you will attack these levels here. But like I said to you, the more you have a go at resistance, the more you roll. Okay, the likelihood is that you roll, and you're potentially going to come back down and test key levels of support right there. So unfortunately, this is consolidation, I'm afraid, and it looks great. It looks like you're going to break out, yay! But then it rolls. Okay, so do anticipate that particular correction in Bitcoin as well. If that does come, then that will potentially see that deeper roll. Because right now, I'm always going to be truthful with you. Right now, look at this particular level right here. You was up at 0.27, okay, and Bitcoin rolled, didn't it? So Bitcoin rolled and Vechain shit the bed, didn't it? So like everything in the market, it's shit the bed. You had a 52% correction. I'm not saying you're going to have another 52% correction, but I'm just saying that if Bitcoin did roll here, okay, if it did roll and you had another 52% correction, where are you? You're down there on a possible C-wave pullback. You're down there, aren't you? Retesting those support levels at least these. So do anticipate that, you know, Bitcoin can't roll effectively because it will drag the market with it, and hopefully that doesn't come. Yes, that's basically Vechain. Just keep an eye on it. In a minute, you're caught between the EMAs, which is a big signal for sideways action. So you may just sort of see it chop like this for a bit until it makes its mind up what it wants to do. So that's basically Vechain. Stay strong, stay healthy, and stay tuned. And we'll be back tomorrow with another update on Vechain. Bye-bye, everyone.